What's up, D-Gens? It's Quayver. The new NIKKE update just came out for the golden coin. You know, the bunny girl soda, the bunny girl Alice, they just came out into the game with the whole new event. By the way, there's a bunch of drama going on about that. I might cover that in a later video, but what I wanted to focus on today inside of this video is all the optimizations that just randomly came out with this update. Like, I didn't hear anything about this. I didn't see anything about this. But just randomly, like alongside this update, they just decided to update and change a bunch of things in the game that honestly is just like, it's a bunch of quality of life good stuff. So we're just going to go over that real quick just so that you fully understand what they added into the game, what exactly it means for your account, and how it's going to affect you going forward. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. In this update, along with everything else that's coming out with like the stage, the actual event itself, there are these new features that they have put into the game. And the first one is going to be the collection item and then favorite item system, basically to give your NIKKEs even more power than they had before. There's currently only 4 NIKKEs that have a favorite item, which is the Laplace, Exia, Frima, and Diesel. However, I could definitely see them implementing more of this in the future. So with the collection items that you get in the game, you can equip them onto your NIKKEs, and then once they have the collection item equipped, it gives them all these stats, you know, some extra stats and some buffs, right? Now, you can always go and you could change them between. This is something that I thought maybe they didn't add in there, but luckily we are able to change, we're able to upgrade them. So just equipping them onto a character is going to just be a small increase in the DPS and damage buff. I tested this on one of the blue NIKKEs, just to make sure that it wouldn't, you know, screw over any of the really good units here. And eventually when they do get favorited items, it seems like you will be able to upgrade them into it. However, because I currently don't have any of the favorite items there, it's kind of hard to test that. However, based on the fact that you can update and change the collection item that any NIKKE has, that means that you should be able to go from blue to purple into their favorite item whenever the character that you want to have an upgrade eventually gets a favorite item added into the game. The next part is just some updated UI for the archives. The archives are what you can do to access old events, how you replay the story, things like that. If you don't want to go through and you want to, you know, re-kill everything, you can just look at all of the little story snippets that you should see as you're going through there. So we won't go too far into that, just makes it a bit easier to go through. But 5.3, the expanded Tactics Academy and new classes is huge. We haven't seen one of these added into the game for at least a year. Like, I started playing around the time it was a Nyan Nyan Paradise with the cat girl character. I can't remember the name of it at the top of the moment, but ever since then, when I first started playing, we haven't had a tactics class update. Now, the tactics class update that you do it's going to be just like all the other tactics class beforehand, where you need to spend, I think it's 1,000k credits per class. But when you do them, you're going to get things such as, you know, you get the expanded dispatch missions for your NIKKEs and you know, extra rewards for your the interception missions. But the biggest plus is that in your synchro device, you will unlock just 10 free more slots. So basically doing this, you get 10 extra slots. That's, if you account for the 500 gems per slot, and there's 10 of them, that's 5,000 gems. That's almost 20 pulls that they just give you for free inside your synchro level device. Now, I only added a soda into here, but I had one spot available already, so that's how I know it's 10. So do your Tactics Academy. I believe that there's around doing 8 and 10 classes that did unlock with this. And because it is 8 to 10, it's going to cost you about 8,000k or 10,000k of the credits, but you should have enough of those if you've been playing the game long enough to have the extra cases. If you are a newer player though, don't worry about it too much. It's going to be okay. You're going to be able to get there, no problem. Credits will be somewhat hard to come by as you're going through and leveling up. You're going to be seeing that you're going to be running out of them, but as long as you're doing every event, you're buying them from the Vault shop every week that it resets, and you're getting them and picked up in the store when they're discounted for the free as many times as you can. Even I've been spending a lot of these to upgrade things like your gear, because gear requires a lot of credits. Something that I've noticed is that you will have an abundance of battle stat data, but you will start running out of the core dust first and for the longest time. But then you might hit an area where you also need the credit case, and that's especially true with how the Tactics Academy is updated, but the Tactics Academy is definitely worth it. So spend the credits that you have, make sure that you get your Tactics Academy done and updated so you can get all the rewards from it. Another part of that is the dispatch into this, the collection item mileage box, which is another thing that you put up, you know, some points and some stuff into in order to get more out of it, just like how the armor chest works. I'll show you real quick from the dispatch what exactly you get from it. So in the bulletin board here, you do see that they added more things that you can do on top of the missions that already existed based on the Tactics Academy. You could also, in this specific mission here, you could pick the NIKKE that you have out of those 4 favorites to try to get the specific material that you need to create their favorited item. So pick who you want. I'm going with Laplace. I think out of all the options, she's definitely the strongest by a mile. But if you only have someone like Diesel, she's also a really good choice to go with. So the maintenance pieces are going to be in your collection items. It's going to be in the maintain section. You can use the maintain items in order to level up and upgrade your collection piece items. So that is how it's going to go. So just to repeat real quick, so we got the accurate information. You get these little boxes. You get the collection item mileage box from your daily dispatches. When you get to 100, you get to pull one of them, and depending on what you get, you can attach them to a NIKKE. And then on that collection item, after you've attached it to your NIKKE, you can use the maintenance item box to level them up. That's their level up material. The next pieces of this are what we have just went over. 5.4 is the collection items, and then 5.5 is the NIKKEs with the favorited items, except now there's a specific item you can buy in the shop to get those NIKKEs leveled up even more. It's here in the shop. You go down into your tickets area. Now, it does cost gold tickets instead of these black tickets, but with this selector, you can choose any of the 4 favorited NIKKEs that you have to continue leveling them up to try to max them out while you're also working on getting their favorited items. So they're bringing these characters from the strength that they are, and they're making them even higher, because the favorited items are going to be a lot stronger than even like the SR purple collection items for your strongest NIKKE. So they're raising the ceiling for these characters by quite a bit with these collection items, which is great, especially for players that are free to play. You've been saving your tickets. Maybe you have only been able to get up to like the 3-star for like your favorite character out of these. Maybe you use Diesel a lot, maybe use Laplace a lot. Now you're going to be able to guarantee get them up to that core max over time, which is like adding that. It's so good because it's adding a goal that's not only achievable, but now you have a direct line to get to where you want to achieve with these 4 NIKKEs. And there's no chance that they're not going to add more favorited NIKKEs in here over time. I especially hope they keep adding ones for the more underpowered characters. Like, this is just my, my personal want and opinion here, right? But if they could add a favorited item to Nihilster to make her just a little bit better, so that I don't feel as bad about going crazy with going into her, because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna completely max her out over time. But that would be great. That'd be just awesome. Let me know down in the comments what NIKKE you want to see a favorited item from as we move on to the next point. 5.6 is definitely the big ticket item for me, which is why I wanted to make this video all in the first place. So before we go on to 5.6, we'll talk about 5.7, which is just new profile card objects and new profile decoration. That was added, a couple of patches ago, but in case anyone doesn't know, it's this little thing you can do up here now where you can set specialized backgrounds for all of the things that you want to put on there, and then you could unlock just a bunch of stickers to throw on all over the place, and you could just completely decorate it out exactly how you want. You get these slowly over time by just being lucky, and the way that you get them is by both the shop, the bulletin board, and I believe you could also get them from like the daily missions. You get them in the profile custom pack. You have the probably info here. You're probably not going to get golds that often, but 50 of them lets you get another sticker, and you'll just slowly collect these over time. Now, the big ticket item, the big reason that I wanted to talk about this video, because I feel like it is huge in more ways than just its surface. Made improvements so that the equipment modification effects or Harmony Cube skills obtained from modifying equipment are reflected in battles. This is massive. This is so huge for the game, because while equipment and Harmony Cubes did affect how their power rating worked a little bit, it always felt like you weren't getting enough out of the huge amount that you put into them, because it is not cheap to max out a character and max out their gear. Like, my Red Hood does have OL level 5 gear, but she's the only one, because the amount of resources it takes to go into them, like, look at this, like, just the example difference is I have the max Red Hood, I have the max Crown. Her skills are 7, 7, 10, she has 10, 10, 10. So Crown skills are even higher, but the power difference is an 84k versus a 78k. That's 6,000 power difference between just leveling up their items, which if you do that between 5 characters, that's an extra 30k power, which if you're going into things like the late game stages of the story, the late game stages of the tower, the specific tower for the specific manufacturers of the NIKKE, it is massive to have an extra 30k. It is huge. That's why this is important. Their power difference used to be smaller. It was probably around a 2k difference, but after the updates, after how they did the cubes, after how now your equipment really matters and affects how things go, it is a massive, massive difference. As an example, my team was sitting at around 280k before the update. I've done no leveling. We're at 361k now. That is 80,000 more battle power that you can have. And you think that, oh, they updated everything, so it must not matter that much, right? Wrong. It matters immensely, because if we go here into the arc, I was clearing in the tribe tower stages to where everything was red. Everything was red. And it was hard for me to go and clear up. But if we go in here, the recommended power hasn't changed. So this update that made our equipment and our cubes matter even more gave such a big power boost that now, whether you're free to play, whether you're a whale, whether you're light spender, it doesn't matter, because everyone was stuck wherever they were at. This makes such a huge difference that now you're going to be able to clear 10, 15, 20 more stages of each tower, get more of the cubes, get more of the points. And if you were on that on the prefaces of the story mode where you just couldn't clear the last like a chapter, or you were getting stuck midway through the chapter because the power difference was too big, now you can go through and you can finish it off. So this not only gave a huge power for the tower time, but it also expedited a lot of players that might have gotten stuck in the story. It is a massive quality of life change and quality of life update. Another thing that it affects literally everything that you do, which also includes players that are at the stage in the game where they can do level S but not interception EX. This update, you can go into EX now. You can start getting those gears, you can start getting those updates, you start getting those upgrades. So now it is just, it pushed you forward. It saved you weeks worth of grinding. The Lost Sector is based on power too. It doesn't show you that you need a certain amount of power, but you'll go into things where you can only use 2 NIKKEs versus a certain amount of enemies. Maybe even 3, maybe 1. And now you're gonna have even more power per NIKKE based on how much equipment you've been giving them and upgrading with them. So it is massive. This not only gives reason for you to max out and overload gear that you have on your NIKKE, but also that if they are a NIKKE, say like Ludmilla here, now you can do something like this. So she's at 53k power. This is a 3k gauntlet, right? So 53, let's switch this. It's still 53. Maybe that's not as big of a difference as I thought. However, even just those little bits of levels can really make a big difference. It's a 300 power difference, which might not seem like very much, but it can be quite a lot. And then with how your overload gear goes, the way that you overload gear and how much power it can bring you. Let's just see. Do I have any gear that I could overload, just to give an example? Let's put this to the test, just so that we can get a physical confirmation, a physical sight on exactly how much difference now it makes. Because it used to just be a K or so. Let's see. Where is a unit that I could upgrade? Okay. So she currently, this is a level 2 piece. It's HP and attack. She's at 53.7k. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up to level 5. I don't have enough credits. Give me one moment. Now that we have enough credits, you see we're going to go up from level 2 to level 5. We're at 53.7. We're also going to overload it to see how much power difference it makes now. So going up 3 levels. So we're at 53.7 and this is 54.1. So we went up about 400 power. Now let's see what happens when we equipment modify. Almost 2,000 more battle power. That's nuts. It used to be nowhere near that much. It used to be a lot smaller. So now the actual power rating, the power difference that you get from your equipment and your cube, it's huge. You're going to be able to go through and just completely decimate things that you were stuck on before now. And it's going to be a great time now. It seems like a lot of the power from this update does come from overloading the gear. So you still want to spend time, spend credits, you know, build up over time, and then eventually get to overloading the gear that you want for the units that you want. But this is still massive, especially with the collection item now, being able to add additional stats to your NIKKE. It's great. It's great. It is the exact quality of life that you needed. It affects everything, including, but not limited to, your solo rating, your union rating, co-op. Like, we're just gonna go, and I won't show you the battle, but I want to show you how much difference it makes in the power rating for this. Now, my Red Hood used to be at around 20k for like the co-op power rating. It was maybe 19k, 20k. She's at 29,000 power rating now. It was about 33% jump in power for this co-op. That is crazy good. And it's just for free. If you've been playing the game, if you've been upgrading your NIKKEs, if you've been, you know, doing what you need to do, on a basis of playing this game, it is absolute. You're gonna hit this. You've already hit it. Your power rating has gone up a lot already, and you're just we eaten for free basically. And this came out of nowhere. It was so cool. So if you were stuck before, or maybe you were getting frustrated at certain things, now is the time to jump back in. Now's the time to start grinding again, and now's the time to start loving the game again. And man, while Genshin's farming L's, NIKKE just keeps farming W's. What can I say? This game's crazy. If you're not playing this game yet, and you're a fan of gacha, I recommend that you definitely give it a shot. That's all I got for you today. I just wanted to give you a quick update and my thoughts on this insane update. Of course, going into the coin rush and like the new banner units and all the new NIKKEs coming out. Of course, that's all really important to talk about too, but I'm sure a lot of people are covering that. I just wanted to really talk about the UI optimizations, the gear system optimizations, and just like how great this game has really been treating all of its player bases. I think that with all the current drama going around with like Genshin Impact, with Withering Waves and all the JP weapon banner stuff, that, we needed a bit of a positive light here. And of course, the game to come out and give us that positive reinforcement, that tender love and hug is a game like this, a game like NIKKE. So if you liked the video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be updated on any future uploads, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.